Kristen, and welcome. A lot of people are still coming in. Welcome, welcome. How is everybody? I'm so glad you're here. And I want to introduce Ellen Williams and Lucy Frost, who are going to be the guides and the cheerleaders and the your new best friends on the Paris trip. So Ellen has been going to Paris for like 40 something years, and knows, I remember her saying she knows Paris like the back of her hand. And I've been on two of her trips in Paris, and it's true. She knows not just great places to go, she knows how to get there, which bus, how long the walk is after you get off the bus. It's all a big map in her mind. So welcome, Ellen.
Hi all. So, if you join us in Paris, basically what I can guarantee you is it'll be fun. It won't be stressful. A lot of the things that everybody can have a great time in Paris. Let's face it. But there's some things about it that are intimidating. In a way, there's almost too much great stuff. So it's, how to pick. And there's a lot of less good stuff too. A lot of touristy crap that nobody wants to waste their time with when you're only there for a week. And that's what coming with us will be like, is that you'll be steered in the right direction, steered away from stuff that, isn't worth your time. And we'll have a great time. That's really the bottom line. We're going to be in a fabulous place, having a great time together.
Yay. And Lucy Frost has been on both trips that we've done. And we watched her on the first trip. Her French went from 30 to 100, all of a sudden. And she's managed to use her French to sort out a debacle with the French rail system, which is, no little bureaucracy there. So anyway, thanks, Lucy, for coming.
Yes, I'm thrilled to be here. And Ellen is so knowledgeable that it's just so fun to see Paris through her experience and eyes. And Michelle, I'm thrilled to see you here. So hi.
So what I thought I would do is just show you, we have lots of photos, and we'll just talk through a little bit through the itinerary of what you're going to see and do, and what makes it special. So I'm going to share my screen, and please don't be shocked when you see all my oops, hold on, I gotta go back to the beginning. Just give me a minute. We're going backwards.
Don't get dizzy.
Yeah, don't get dizzy. Just getting you a little preview, because I don't know how to do it again. Okay. It's taking a long time. Okay, here we go. Not the technology that I need right now. I don't have the smarts. Anyway, so this is just really, we talk about this as a trip that's really insider Paris neighborhoods, and that we'll be spending a lot of time in these gorgeous neighborhoods that really the most tourists who come do not really get to dive deep into. So what I like to say is that these places are great. I mean, here's Versailles, here's the Eiffel Tower, here's the Louvre, but you don't need us to see them. I mean, people go to Paris and it's very easy to get to these places. There's stuff online of how to do that. It's not a big deal to do that. But here, we want to show you the essence of the city. So for that, you do need somebody like Ellen, who's just so knowledgeable. And we just everything's so light and easy when Ellen's there, telling us, directing us where to go, giving us ideas, the details about the shops and everything. So, the other thing that we talk about is that you're doing this, you're not only seeing the great city, you're doing it with all these curious, fun women, and as Ellen said, we will be having fun. That's high on the agenda. So I'm going to let Ellen talk a little bit through about kind of some of the things that we're going to see, starting with Saint-Germain and Ellen. So we can, and this is our beautiful hotel on a little side street, right?
Yeah, off the Boulevard Saint-Germain. So we are, right near the center of Saint-Germain, all of the wonderful celebrated cafes. We're on a nice quiet side street near wonderful shops and cafes. Several of the restaurants that we love that we're going to are just, a 5-minute walk away. So even if we've been on our feet a lot during the day, we'll be close by where we're going to eat at night, and for the most part, or we'll take a bus. Everything has been thought out, and one of the things that I've said to people about this trip is, all you have to do is show up in the lobby in the morning. That's really it. That you don't have to stress about, oh my God, where are we going to eat? Or there's 3 good places, or nothing. It's just going to be easy and fun and stimulating. And there are just not that many things that you can say that about, where you can be completely stimulated and having a great time, but that it's easy too. And so anyhow, so this is the hotel at charming, super, super nice staff. Here's a little bit more pictures in Saint-Germain, that's our first year group there in the middle. And, for those of you who know Paris a little bit, Saint-Germain is, one of the more, how to say it, it's very elegant, but in a sort of an intellectual, quiet, arty way. It's not like the right bank. It's a little bit more relaxed and, just lovely to be in, beautiful streets and shopping and whatnot.
And fascinating, the special street, which I just love that we.
So this Rue du Bac is one of these picture postcard perfect shopping streets in Paris. All 3 of these pictures were taken there on our different Paris trips. We stop at it's probably about 130 years old at this point, a place that specializes in Armagnac, and they will give us samples and tell us about the product. The middle shot is probably my favorite pastry shop in Paris. What Lori is eating there is a rhubarb turnover that, I mean, she was in ecstasies. I think it was the single best thing that I ate in Paris the entire week we were there. It was so fabulous. And then at the right is a shop that is, it's like a natural history museum in the space of a shop, a beautiful exotic. Anybody who saw Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris, he had a surrealist party take place in this shop. It's been there since the 1830s. So on our first day, we have a welcome lunch at the hotel, and then we walk together along this fantastic street. That's day 1. Sort of getting to.
Paris was there when we went, which was pretty cool.
Okay, the Canal Saint-Martin is on the right bank. It's a beautiful early 19th century waterway through that part of Paris. It was designed by Napoleon. I mean, he didn't personally design it, but Napoleon brought this to bring fresh water into the city, and it is lined with very trendy cafes and shops, and it's just beautiful to walk along these footbridges. And we have a terrific restaurant that we have lunch in there, and wander in and out of the shops and along the canal. It's a really, really nice midday itinerary.
And that's the place if you like Amelie, the movie, that was all filmed around there, right? Is that?
Well, the opening shot of she's skipping stones on one of these, but Amelie is Montmartre is where she lives.
Okay,
But it's just very, very picturesque and and not usual suspecty.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. What we're going to is not usual suspecty, the places we go. I mean, okay.
Okay, so our Montmartre day is kind of broken up into two parts. We start out in the lower part of the slope of the hill, which is a rapidly gentrifying area. We go to one really lovely artist museum first thing in the morning. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous 19th century house. Then we walk to another museum, which is very small and anybody can run through it if they want, but there's a beautiful tea salon in the garden there. It's a freestanding sort of villa in Paris. And we're going to stop there for a coffee break, croissant, whatever anybody wants. And then we will walk the Rue des Martyrs, which is another one of these beautiful Rue Commerçant, the shopping street, and we'll have the place that you see on the left there is all of us having really fabulous crepes with Breton cider, and I think here we're having dessert, so you see a lot of coffee cups and whatnot too. And then after lunch, we'll sort of head up the hill into Montmartre proper and just wander around, you know, have a sort of a free-ish afternoon. And here's the thing, we've built in a couple of free afternoons and mornings and whatnot, but this is all to say we can all still stay together if that's what people decide they'd rather do, or if there's a particular museum that you want to go to, I'll make sure that you know how to get there, or a shop that you want to go to or go back to. It's all very easy, and you know, we want people to have a great time. We want to make that happen for you. So so that's an example.
I should say that's one of the things that you do that is it's almost like you're on your the free time that people have. Ellen spends a lot of time saying, you know, figuring out what they want to do and helping them get there. And I think that's something too you can't get anywhere else, where the people are like, there's somebody who's just like this. Okay, you want to buy, you're looking for the certain type of pillows or decor or something, certain type of decor. She'll like pinpoint the areas to go to check out. So it's a huge service.
You know, I remember this past year we had we can actually talk more about them. We had three sisters who were just amazing. I loved these women, and it was so great to have the three of them along. They had never traveled together like that before. They had a terrific time. And one of them, the middle sister, very much wanted to bring her husband back t-shirts, but she wanted the t-shirts to be very specific. She didn't want any just, you know, junky touristy t-shirts. He was a guy of great style and whatnot. And I brought her to one of my favorite shops, and she was over the moon. I mean, she brought him three very expensive t-shirts. And I took them to my favorite handbags. They were just amazing. And it's so much fun to take somebody to someplace and have them love it. And that's something I hope we get to do over and over again.
When we say free time, like the great thing for me about Next Tribe trips is it's not a person carrying a flag and us following behind them. It's like, we're going to do this. Who wants to come? And there may be somebody who doesn't want to do that, and they do something else, and Ellen helps them figure out how to get there. And so it is just delightful, because it feels like you're just traveling to Paris with friends, not on a tour group. And I am not a tour group person, and Next Tribe is the only group trip I go on.
Yay! Well, that's true. God, I kind of designed it because I wasn't a tour group person, so I wanted to make sure that people had some freedom to do what, you know, step off the route that we were going if they wanted to. So good.
One of the things that we did very successfully a number of times was we would go into a neighborhood and we'd say, okay, here's a cafe right here. If everybody takes a picture of it, that they then have the coordinates of it in their phone. and we're going to all meet back here at 4:30. And maybe some people are going to get there at 4 o'clock and order a wine. And maybe some people are going to text and say, I'm not coming. I'll meet you back at the hotel. Or 6 or 7 people will come and we all have a charcuterie plate together. It's a very easy town for going apart and coming back together and going apart and coming back together. And you'd think that that would be really hard to do. And I was nervous about it the first time with 14 people, but I can't think of any time that we had any kind of big hiccup about it. And that's the beauty of having cell phones.
Yeah, it was really I remember that you were like, how are we going to keep them all together? But it didn't, that never materialized, that concern of keeping, coordinating everybody. We had last year we took a little day trip, and this year we found another fabulous spot. Do you want to talk about it, Ellen?
So we're going to go one day out to this Vaux-le-Vicomte, which is the chateau that was built. It's about an hour by train from Paris. It was built by a nobleman, and Louis XIV took one look at it and said, I want something better. He was so in love with it. It's the basis for Versailles. And we're going to have a picnic lunch there. And it'll just be our, kind of 3/4 of a day outside of Paris. And then I think we have baked into that itinerary that we'll go back to Saint-Germain and have that be a free what's ever left of the afternoon in Saint-Germain, and then dinner in the neighborhood that night.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go to the right bank.
So this is typically this is sort of 2 itineraries together. Saturday we go to, you can see on the right, that incredible display of peonies, and that's Lori who had the rhubarb turnover earlier. This is a street market in one of the just most elegant parts of town. So you can imagine the kind of groceries that these people are buying. There's gorgeous cheeses and gorgeous fishmongers and yogurt sellers and whatnot, but also along this several blocks long street market are merchants selling tea towels, selling linen clothes, selling olive wood salad bowls and servers. And I don't know, what else did we all buy there, Jeannie? You got a fabulous...
I got leather goods. I got a couple of belts and a couple of purses that were amazing. So nice.
Lots of cashmere.
Oh yeah,
lots of cashmere. But it's one of those places where you feel like you are hip deep in the city. You're walking along with Parisians who are shopping for their, for their kitchens and whatnot. You're not at a merchant selling, again, crummy tourist t-shirts. It's just, this is stuff the Parisians are doing and buying, and it's beautiful. And then we have lunch at a very nice cafe right at the edge of the market. And then we walk, the middle picture is our friend Lana at the Dior gallery. Mm-hmm. So the Dior couture house has, around the corner from the main couture shop, they have this spectacular gallery. I think it was one of the best things that we did this last year. We were there for, I'm going to guess, maybe an hour and a half, and you can see there how incredibly imaginatively, beautifully installed everything is. You go from one gallery to the next. It takes your breath away. It's so beautiful. These exquisite clothes, beautifully displayed. And I mean, we had so much fun there. And then the picture on the left, which you can see Lucy and Jeannie and me, is a Art Deco wine bar in the Marais, which is we go to for lunch on Sundays after we do the flea market.
Right. Let me go back because we are, that same day, that's the day we did.
Yeah, so Saturday, we do this sunset cruise on the Seine, and everybody, gets a glass of wine or whatever. We smuggled our own wine too, and had several glasses. And it's one of those things that seems like it could be hokey, but it's just nice. It was like, we took over basically the front of this boat, our group, and just had a front row seat on all of the monuments as they become illuminated as the sun goes down. And then we had dinner in a very nice place, just steps away from where the boat lets you off, in a lovely little 17th century place.
Yeah, that was, yeah, this is the Sunday. Oh, Sunday.
That there is a lot of walking on this trip, but that also those who have difficulty walking can take cabs. I mean, you can take a bus, you can take a cab, but mainly we're walking a lot, and it's delightful because you get to see all the neighborhoods when you're on foot and walking through, and really feel a part of the city.
And there were a couple of times where we had people who just didn't feel like walking to the next place. So I would get on a bus with them, and then we would, meet up, 25 minutes later. So, or it's, easy to get Ubers. It's easy to get, it's not a problem. So there's a very, celebrated Paris flea market, which is just north of the city, and it is gigantic, sprawling. And if you want to buy armoires or settees or whatnot, that's the place to go. But that's not what we're buying. It's certainly not what I ever buy when I go to Paris. I like the Porte de Vannes flea market, which is in the south of the city, which is for vintage collectibles. And you can end up finding something that makes your heart sing that you never even knew existed. And Jeannie, you can see here, has just bought one of the French workman's jackets. So generations of French working men have worn these blue jackets. They typically wear blue overalls or pants that match. And the jackets, you could see a selection of them there, are very coveted, and people wear them. People, I don't want to say knock them off. There are a lot of designers have new versions of them. Anyhow, I would say maybe three or four of us over the 2 years have gotten them and loved them. I got one when I was in Paris last month. I'm very small, and I finally found one that fit me. And so that's the kind of just fun thing that you can do there. And the middle picture is three of our women there's a little snack truck sort of at the halfway point of the flea market that happens to have what I think are just about the best French fries in Paris. And it's a good place to stop for a coffee or to, have a French fry and then Jeannie can tell you the shot on the right are some beautiful beaded African masks that she bought at, I think last year, right?
I bought
Jeannie,
it the first year, and I'm so keen to carry on always, but for those I decided, well, I'll check my bag. So because I had to carry these things on, so I had to check my other bag, but it was worth it. I loved these, and there's so many cool things at this flea market, because if it's French, it's got style through any era. So it's real. This is like, everybody loves this flea market day. It's just the best.
So after the flea market, we go to the Marais, which is a very historic neighborhood. And part of it was traditionally the Jewish neighborhood, which is why all of these decades and decades and decades later, there are, and have been for decades, dispensations about shops being open on Sundays. So it's always been a good place in the old days, when not so much was open on Sundays, to go, because you could find a lot of boutiques and whatnot that are open. And one of the things that we do here is we go to the Musée Carnavalet, which is the Paris History Museum, which has just reopened after being updated and renovated. It's a lot of fun. It's beautiful installations, and if your thing is the French Revolution or Paris during the occupation, or, you know, Paris in the swinging 60s. There are galleries that'll just, you know, bring Paris history to life. And again, you know, this is another example of, if somebody says, I'm just not that interested, I'm going to go shopping, then we say, fine, so we'll meet you here, or text us when you're done and we'll come find you, or whatnot. There's no onerous obligation to stay together if anything that we're doing is not your thing.
Yeah, that's really important. I just love that we'll have a free day at the end, remember, and one of the places that we love to go is the Luxembourg Garden, which isn't too far from our hotel. So it's just a magical place.
So this on the left are our sisters, our three sisters, who were so amazing, and they were amazing each separately and together. And one of them, I think, wrote for Jeannie about traveling as
Yes,
as a family.
Hey, who's this? Wait, who's Laura E? I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, Laura E. Let me. There's some not so nice things.
Oh,
Remove. That's not cool. Okay. Sorry.
well, we can let you figure that out, Jeannie, and I'll
I got her off.
Okay. And so can you get that thing off, or should we just
I
pretend
don't
it's
know how
not
to
there?
get that thing off, but
Let's just, yeah, go, yeah, there you go. Oh, it's still there.
still there. Okay, well, this we were zoomed on once before. There's a Zoom.
Yeah, we don't care.
Oh, it's okay. We've all seen
Just
those
Jeannie,
before.
go back just
Oh,
a second,
sorry.
because I just want to say about the other Luxembourg picture there. These are two women who had never met one another before. And like so many of us, I mean, we like real friendships, real attachments form on these trips. And I remember this last year, we went to a bistro where we had a private room upstairs, and we had one waiter who was assigned to us this past year. It was the second night, and we're all there whooping it up, having a great time. And I said to him, can you believe most of us met for the first time yesterday afternoon? I mean, he couldn't believe it, because there's just, everybody is in the sort of same place of wanting to connect and wanting to be open and have a good time. And you can kind of reinvent yourself too, if that's your thing too, if you don't feel like being the person who's always shy or the person who hangs back or whatever. But I say to Jeannie all the time, I mean, the secret sauce here is that, you're doing a great thing with other people, and it energizes you and puts you at ease, and that's what I have to say about that.
And also, some of the women who were on the Paris trip in June that didn't know each other before, 3 of them we just finished a trip to Marfa and Big Bend in Texas, and they oh wait, who's this Tracy now?
Okay. Oh my gosh,
Tracy, you're gonna have to leave.
I mean, yeah,
that's
weird.
so uncool. That's just uncool.
And inexplicable too. Anyhow, okay, should we go to the next?
Yes.
I guess they think women want to see penises or something. I don't know, but
really, God almighty.
Whatever.
Oh, this is the last slide. You can maybe take it down.
Okay, last slide, just 3 pictures with
take it down and we'll.
Oh my God, that was just so weird. Okay, we're unflappable though, because at this age we're like,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So I'd love to open it up to questions. If you have a question, you can just raise your hand or just unmute and just start speaking, or write it in chat if you want. So I'm sure you have questions about how we roll, but I think you got a good sense of it's loose. My dream is for it to feel like a girlfriend trip. I mean, instead of like, a group
I
trip.
add that if you want to go to the tourist sites, coming before or staying after. And I mean, Ellen has always been so gracious about helping us figure out how to do that for those people who want to. But they're not included on this trip, which I love because it's so
Yep.
easy to do.
Yes, and people have done that in the past.
Yeah, one thing that the first year, a number of people came before, which was fine. They went and did things that we weren't going to be doing. And this year, a couple people came just because they wanted to sort of relax and get over their jet lag before the group met. But I had also thought that, if people want to stay a little bit after that, then I can help them plan their after time while we're together in Paris. And that when you're there on your own, leaving the safety of our Next Tribe nest, you'll be more confident because you'll already have the lay of the land, you'll know the hotel, all of that. So if anybody thinks, well, I want more than 7 days in Paris, then, we can totally help you make that happen.
Any questions?
I would probably go and annoy my family in London on the way there, on the way back. Forgive me, because I haven't done one of these trips before. Do we arrange our own air in and out of Paris, or so that's just something you handle yourself? Okay,
Yes, you handle
great.
that.
That's not an issue. Yeah.
So, what else can we tell you? I'm trying to.
And the one thing we did do this year that I think worked really well was that somebody from Next Tribe made up a spreadsheet of everybody's arrivals, and some people who didn't know one another hooked up at Charles de Gaulle and shared a cab into the city together, and that worked very well too.
At what point would you all recommend making the reservations for airfare? I don't know if the trip has to, get booked or full enough or what.
Yes.
But I've signed up already, so I'm excited.
Oh, welcome.
Yay. Yes. I knew your name. Yes. I do want. We do need to wait till we get, I think, the minimum number. I can look and see what the minimum is. But I imagine we'll get there, because there's always we're always got such great interest, and it's something you can't get anywhere else with Ellen's level of expertise and her kind of attention to detail. So
Thank you for leaving out the word obsessive attention to detail.
But the cool thing too, I have to say about Ellen, is that you love sharing this. So sharing your passion for the city, and it is infectious, the passion. Okay, Wendy, you had a question?
Yeah, I just some basics. So I saw the information quickly today. So everybody takes care of their own airfare and then flies into Paris from wherever. And then do we meet at do you fly in the day before and meet at the hotel, or what is sort of the logistics of how this works?
Well, most flights to Europe are overnight, and so most get in the morning, and so we have a meeting time like in the early afternoon at the hotel. So everyone will be going to the meeting at the hotel, and we'll just go from there. And one thing we do before every trip, a couple things. We have a meet and greet where everybody is coming on the trip comes on a Zoom like this, and we all get to know each other before the actual meet in Paris. And then I also have a text group. I make up a text group where and we use that a lot to communicate, such things as, I've decided I'm not going to shoe shopping with you guys, so I'll meet you later. So there's a lot of it. So on the text group for the day that people fly in, we would just say, okay, group, it looks like everyone's here. Let's all meet downstairs in the lobby, and we've got some cheese and wine, and we'll start meeting each other, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so the way it works is most people from the US fly overnight and then meet at the hotel in the afternoon on day one, right?
Yes, yes.
And
Yes.
how hard is it to get from the airport to the hotel?
Well, it's as easy as getting in a cab if that's, how you roll. It's,
Cab?
yeah, that's, I mean, there is a train, but you have to, the cab is the easiest way to do it. I mean, I do the train just because I've done it for so long. And, there might be people coming together, on your flight or arriving roughly at the same time, but it's super easy. I mean,
If they're government cabs with a specific charge, so you don't have to worry about being overcharged or anything like that.
yeah, there's a flat fee to the
And
left
it's
bank.
line and it's really easy.
Yeah, so and the hotel is well known, so you just tell the cab driver where you're going. Okay.
Well, it's not that the hotel is well known, but Paris cab drivers know where they're going, and they all have GPS too. But I mean, and we will make sure that everybody has, a screenshot of the name and address of the hotel. You just show that to your driver, and you're done. And a lot of cabs too take credit cards, so even that's easy. And
Yeah, it's definitely not a big issue. And as we said, some people come a couple days early to do their own, have their own, go to the Louvre or the Musée d'Orsay. So, so that's up to you. And we can certainly put you in touch with or get you in touch with the hotel about keeping your same room, and you just pay the hotel directly for the extra days that you spend.
For me, I would want to keep things super simple, but what I'm hearing is that there are blocks of time that if you wanted to disappear and see one of those more common touristy things, that would be okay.
Yes.
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And Michelle, you had a question? I think.
She's muted. You're muted, Michelle.
I was going to ask about, since most of the flights will come in at the same time, will a group gather at the airport?
And yes, you can do that. That's one thing we'll do. Like when we have the Marcy, our travel manager, is, she'll put out in advance whose flight schedules. We'll have our text group. We'll know when everybody's coming in. It's very likely people will be on the same flight, and that way you can share a cab. No problem. A good question.
And since a lot of people are coming from San Antonio or Austin, does that go through Austin or direct to Paris, or does it go through Houston?
No, there's no nonstop from Austin or San Antonio that I know of. There is so there's just 100 ways to get there. So go through London, go through JFK, whatever, or go through Dallas or Houston.
Chicago.
Okay, but not
I
Houston.
just wanted to, hi, this is Gail. I just wanted to say I went on a trip last month with Next Tribe to, hi, Jeannie, San Miguel. So if you've never done one of these before, and I've done a lot of women's trips, I have to tell you, I have to agree with Ellen, and I think it was Lucy, that it's really a different experience. And so we, everything that they're saying, but it's so organized. I mean, you won't have to worry about anything. We went to Mexico, so out of the country, it was like so easy. It was nonstop. And so you don't have to worry about any of these plans. You'll find out, they send you stuff, they keep in touch. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell, but I guess I am selling it because it's really, really fabulous. They do a great job.
We'll let you sell it. Because, I mean, it's good to hear that from you, and especially because you're fresh off of a trip.
Fresh off a trip, and I've taken quite a few other women's trips, and it was like it was the best one I've taken. So I'll just say that as far as the organizers and the group activities, and she's right. Everybody just becomes friends, and you're just like, the first day everybody's kind of timid, and by the next, you're all talking and just sharing, and it's a beautiful experience if you've never done a women's trip before. So
thank you, Gail. That's high praise. I'm so happy that you said that. So what else can we tell you? We can tell, we'll have a, once you sign up, we'll be in touch with you. You'll hear from Marcy, and we'll let you know when the trip hits a minimum, which Marcy tells me is 8 people. So we have 4 people signed up right now. So we do need 4 to get to the minimum. And once we do that, then we're going to let you know, you can start booking your flights. And we hope, I think the max is 12. So we'll keep going from there. And, you can tell
And Jeannie, you have some good news about signing up and.
Yes, I have. You mean about my little bowl of goodies? Well, I've been busy writing everyone's name down here, everybody who's on the Zoom, because as you might remember that I'm going to draw a name and somebody's going to get $500 off this trip if they book in the next week. And, this is what day? Thursday. By next Thursday, a week from today. And so I'm going to draw, and the money, it'll come off after you make your deposit. We'll just refund. So I'm not going to look at anything. I'm looking. Oh, Linda Lee. Or was Linda one?
Yep, Linda Lee Myers, she's on.
Linda Lee Myers. Hello, Linda Lee, are you there? I hope she wasn't one of the baddies. Well, let's see if Linda comes.
I don't know, she hasn't responded, so I wonder.
Well, she's muted.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Linda Lee, can you hear us? She unmuted.
Well, let's see if there are any other questions while we're waiting for Linda Lee to.
Oh, and the other thing is, for everyone else, you are, if you sign up in the next week, I'll just take $100 off everybody else's. That's on top of the $100 you will, that you will have taken off if you're a member. As you know, as I hope you know, if you're a Next Tribe member, you get a discount on every trip that you book, and it's automatic. And you'll be given a code that gets you the discount. And then if you book in the next week, so by the end of the day, next Thursday, the 14th, then we'll give you an extra $100 off. Okay.
And then I will step in and help you spend that $200 in Paris. And then Lucy will help. Well, actually, I know how to do this now too. Lucy super researched last year how to do the VAT, the getting the tax back.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now it's super easy to do too. And nobody like the old days where you used to have to write down everything you spent on your trip. They don't pay any attention to that anymore. So
do you use the WeBat, the app? I got this app on my phone when I was there last year. And then the store fills out the stuff, and
there are a number of ways to do it. Sometimes they do all the paperwork right there in the boutique, and they just give you the thing that you have scanned at the airport and you're done. You tend to get the most money back if you have your credit card reimbursed rather than getting cash. But we can go into that once we're over.
So is there a number if you have questions? You can talk to a real person after this call.
You can talk to Marcy, and Marcy, I don't, do you want to, I'll write her email, and then you can, if you want to book a call or something with her, that's Marcy's email.
Hi, I'll just say hi right now. It's
Okay.
nice to see some of your faces. I've heard all your names and sent a lot of emails. So, Gail, I'm so glad you had fun in San Miguel. I'm glad you thought it was organized. I was on the other side going, oh.
My sister and I had a great time. It was lovely.
Awesome.
Is Marcy
Right.
the manager? Sorry, is Marcy?
The travel manager, yes.
Yeah, travel at Next Tribe. You can email me anytime, and I'll get you to the right person if I can't figure it out.
I mean,
So, yeah,
for this trip, this is going to be our 3rd year in a row doing it. So it's pretty it's pretty organized by now. We have, and we didn't even have any problems the first year because some of us overthink everything. It's very well organized, and you know, really once we get there, the biggest challenge is who wants to do what particular thing, you know, and you know what you want to order at the bistro and whatnot. It gets very relaxed very quickly.
And I do want to also point out that we do take a lot of public transportation, which I think is fabulous because, you know, the idea is for me is to kind of see what it's like to live there, feel what it, you know, the Parisians' life is like. And so that's what, and Ellen's really good about getting, you know, on the buses, on the metro. But I think you particularly love the buses because you see everything from the bus, which is you're one of your favorite things about it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I do want to say that Linda Lee, I see you, you responded, or maybe it didn't work on your sound, but anyway, so we got Linda Lee. And Michelle asked if you've already signed up, we'll go ahead and deduct the $100 because you're here on the Zoom. So that's a good news for anybody who's never signed up.
Thank you.
But we're just glad you're here.
Let me just say
Ellen,
one.
will you?
Let
Ellen,
me
would you?
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
All I was going to say is, if you've never been to Paris before, this is a great first way to do this, even though we're not going to be going specifically to the, you know, the Arc de Triomphe and the blah, 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 blah. It's a great way to see that, yeah, it deserves all the fuss. This is a fabulous, fabulous place. If you've been there before, but you haven't been there in 30 years, or you went as, you know, a college, you know, even better in a way, because you know, you understand that this is an ethereally gorgeous place. It's not like any place else on the planet. And there's no, I don't know how to put this. There's no pressure about this. We're grown women. We know what we like to do. We don't have, you know, the Paris bucket list. We're just there to really figure out what makes this place tick, what makes it so great. And, you know, my feeling is that it might give people the confidence to go back on their own by themselves, or bring a partner back, or a family member, or a friend on another year, in which case, of course, too, I'm there to help plan that too. But so if you've been there before, if you've never been there, you know, it's all good.
And I will say that I have new confidence about if I could go back now after being there with you and just feel like I'm not lost, or I'm not overwhelmed by the city, or not intimidated by it. I feel like I have a good sense of the layout and how to get around, and what's good and what to avoid. Melanie, you were trying to say something. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Ellen, would you, or could someone maybe give us some tips as we get closer to leaving on what we should pack to wear, so we don't look like the worst American tourists ever?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the good news is, when I first started going to Paris, you really couldn't, grown-ups did not wear sneakers. It just was not done. I mean, that kind of pegged. But now, oh my God, you know, everybody wears fabulous walking shoes and sneakers, and you could be really comfortable and still be stylish, or not look like, you know, the proverbial ugly American and whatnot. And say what it is about us is the smiling. So that we are going to give ourselves away, because we are going to all be walking in smiling.
That's really funny.
I'll have to get some fake cigarettes and a frown.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
And you know what? They don't hate Americans either. That's the thing too. You know, that's such an old tired stereotype, and I think it's really one world now. I mean, people are not that you know, that generation of French people, I think, is mostly, you know, probably in the French old age homes by now. But
Yeah.
I don't think we experienced, I mean, I go there all the time. I don't ever feel like anybody treats me poorly because I'm an American, ever.
That's the good, that's great news. Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think we're, you know, we all dress a little, I mean, probably people ask you directions too. I mean, don't they? Didn't we have people asking you directions like French people?
You know, I mean, I know how to get around. That is true. But
Well, I just did the link again so you could see it for the Paris trip. I do hope you'll sign up. I hope you'll sign up in the next week so you can get your discount. And Linda, if you end up not going, I will keep all these, I don't know if you can see them, but I'll keep all these names and I'll draw another name if you end up not using it for the $500 discount. Okay. Because we are definitely going to give that $500 away. That's a promise.
So how much, if you're not a Next Tribe member, how much does it cost to join to get the additional $100?
You can join for $39 a year and you get an extra $100 off on all your trips. So it pays for itself. And there's
Jeannie,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. We should talk about the roommate situation.
Oh, yes. Like what? That
Well,
you can assign you a roommate or you can go as a single.
Yeah, or you can find a friend to come with you. But, you know, the first year, Lucy and I both had roommates who were people that we had never met before. And it was better than fine. I mean, it was so much fun.
Is one of my very best friends now.
I know
mean,
you guys,
We just were like,
you really were.
yeah.
I could not believe these women had just met. It was like, boom, you know.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's so not a big deal. If you end up saying, you know, I'll do the double and I don't know anybody and I'll just let, you know, I'll let Jeannie fix me up with somebody to be a roommate, and, you know, or you pay the supplement and you have your own room.
Yeah.
So
there's, yeah. So if there is a way, you just tell us. If you sign up for double, you'll just tell us on the sign up, set me up with a cool roomie. So,
or get a friend to join you, or a relative, or, you know.
And we also have people who sign up as singles and then they find a friend and we can change it to a double. So we've got some flexibility, especially this far out. So good. And
sorry, it's just the one hotel. You're not schlepping around from. It's just, which I like. That was a positive for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great base. We're in the middle of everything. So you'll fall in love with your hotel and know everything around it.
And the thing is, this hotel has some really nice, you know, sort of public spaces in I was there last month, and, you know, there's a bar in this hotel. So, you know, you can come back and have a glass of wine with a friend, or sit there and read a book with a glass of wine, or there's, you know, a nice breakfast room, and there's, you know, we'll be very comfortable there.
Okay, well, I think that's it. I hope to meet you guys in Paris, and just you have Marcy's email if you have any other questions, and we'll go from there. But I hope you'll sign up in the next week. That'd be so fabulous. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen and Lucy. Big kisses. Bye, everyone.
Bye.